Alright, hello everyone, and now welcome to a game between WFZ and Romantic. Gonna go ahead and speed this up to 64 speed, just get it to the 2-minute mark. Wow, already past the 2 minute 30 seconds. I didn't realize it could actually get that far. My apologies, I just randomly clicked and it already got over here this way. There was some technical issues with the first time I recorded this, and I had to go ahead and reset it. So you guys didn't really miss much. Archmage going ahead, cleared out the Renegade Wizard creep camp, cleared out a 5-3-3 creep camp. No real problem there. Gonna go ahead and get to level 2. Hasn't picked up the Tome of Strength. Will be able to pick it up, and also has that Ring of Protection +2. May pick up, I believe, Gauntlets of Ogre Strength +3 here, and then make its way back down to the south. Meanwhile, Death Knight using Skeletal minions to clear out the Forest Troll Trapper down to the south. Death Knight is sitting at level 1, does not have level 2 as of yet, but the Death Knight should be able to get to level 2 fairly fast, well, based upon the last time I saw this video. Skeletal Man is going to be coming up from the south side, and it is going to be spotted by the Archmage and those footmen. Militia now coming in from behind as well, and a Militia clearing out this creep camp, very effective because of the Mud Golems, and they're slow. The more targets that there are for the Mud Golems and the slow, the less effective it is, as the Militia are thus able to power through and get in enough damage anyways. So Militia now heading back away as well. Archmage will get to level 3, picking up a Scroll of the Beast off of this Rock Golem. There you go. And he'll go ahead, pick up that Manual of Health, head back down to the south side, sell that Scroll of the Beast, and pick up a Staff of Teleportation. Death Knight now clearing out across over here will be able to do a very, very easy job there. Has a Mantle of Intelligence, Gauntlets of Ogre Strength +3, and will be at tier 2 momentarily. There you go, Archmage. There's that Staff of Teleportation. He'll be able to return back home if there is any pressure back inside at this base here, as the Skeletal minions may be looking to put forth a little bit of pressure. Water Elemental and Footmen looking to, place down some pressure right here, right now, and it looks like some damage can be added up. One Nerubian Tower, however, causing problems, as the Archmage will be Staff of Teleportating back off to the north side here to try and protect all of these peasants. Nope, no, there it goes. Teleports back down across here, and now putting the pressure down. Skeletal minions trying to focus down this one low hit point peasant. That peasant very low on hit points, and the peasant peasant looks like he will end up being able to survive. One more shot should do it. Yes, there it goes. That Skeletal minion now taken down, as the Arcane Tower is not yet up, but the Town Hall is already up and operational. Death Knight at level 2, very close to level 3, should be able to get to level 3 before the Lich comes out, and with that, level 2 Death Coil with level 1 Frost Nova will make this relatively low hit point early tier 1 army taken out very fast. Having this large number of footmen is always a problem. If his opponent had gone for Panda first, perhaps he would be able to follow up and put in more pressure. Meanwhile, well, no easy way. Oh, gonna get a surround onto a Crypt Fiend. That Crypt Fiend has taken a fair bit of damage. There's a Death Coil, but the Crypt Fiend's still gonna get taken out. Death Knight sitting at level 3, now in a mad run, as well as the Archmage is still doing a bit of chasing. Footman getting the easy kill there. Meanwhile, back off to the north, Arcane Tower doing its job, finishing off those Skeletal minions. It looks like some of those peasants were taken down, as that Arcane Tower just now got completed. Illusion, Archmage back down to the south. Archmage off over here. Death Knight doing a bit of chasing, should be able to close in on that gap just a bit with the help of that Unholy Aura, as the Death Knight reaches off to the far north. Do we see a tech to tier 2? Yes, just now getting started. And we should be looking at perhaps Arcane Sanctums momentarily. Curious position on the lumber mill. Not quite sure why you would build it out at the front door. That makes absolutely no sense. And it gives you even less position to try and Scroll of Town Portal, as the Water Elemental is now pulling back. Romantic is sitting, or is going to be sitting, behind a lot of guard towers here, and this is the question: are we going to see WFZ with that dual slaughterhouse strategy with a large number of obsidian statues into destroyers? Without the masonry upgrades, even the tier 2 masonry upgrades, not going to be able to withstand the mass amount of mana and splash damage that those destroyers have during the early portion of the game. Archmage now looking to pull back here. Arcane Tower is trying to get in some damage. No Mountain King or anything else to try and stun things up. Meanwhile, Frost Nova able to do a lot of damage here, and it looks like WFZ is really going to be able to put in a lot of pressure without sacrificing very much. Another Footman getting taken out here, and now this is going to be the big question, whether or not WFZ will be able to hold off against his opponent, as he is being able to pick off a lot of these units one at a time. Death Knight sitting at level 3 right now, still having plenty of mana. Those water elementals, however, are very, very powerful and do cause some major problems, but they do move relatively slowly. All right, Death Coil to finish off another Footman there. Death Knight and Lich has really just picked apart much of this Footman army. As you can see, another Frost Nova has come through. All right, there goes another water elemental right there. Defend is finally up. Obsidian Statue is back in play with an Acolyte to try and offer some repairs. Death Coil is going to finish off another Footman. Yes, it will. Meanwhile, the Lich now being forced to pull back again. Very low hit point on the Crypt Fiend. Death Knight has plenty of mana still and could get another Death Coil off on that Crypt Fiend here in just a moment. Low hit point Footman down to 293 hit points. Is it going to get taken down? No, it is not, as the pressure is still adding back up slowly and surely. All right, let's take a look at this Lich, seeing that 94 mana, looking fairly strong. Meanwhile, Death Knight now looking to regroup here. You're going to see a big army and a volley come back the other way. Footman down to 204 hit points. It gets Death Coiled and taken out again. So far, the Death Knight with that Death Coil living up to its name, bringing death and decay everywhere, better than the Lich ever possibly could. All right, Water Elemental now looking to pull back here. It wants to get into that back line, but the Acolyte offering repairs is going to make it very difficult. Acolyte, why isn't it on auto repair? I do not know. There it goes. Finally going to be offering some repairs here, as that Water Elemental, well, doesn't really stand much of a chance. It will get taken out. Lich still sitting at level 1, just shy of level 2. Death Knight here looking to actually head back home. He is going to be picking up an Orb of Corruption. Very, very powerful item. Meanwhile, the Lich should not be that far forward. The Crypt Fiends are now putting pressure down. And WFZ may actually be in a worse spot than moments earlier. You can see that there are now more and more towers, and I don't see enough Obsidian Statues to really fight back against this attack. You can see the Destroyer form is being added, but there's not going to be enough mana to follow it up. Crypt Fiend now looking to pull back here. All right, army full of Crypt Fiends. Where is that Death Knight? Death Knight has the Orb of Corruption. Is it going to be going after some of these units? I still don't know, as the damage is slowly adding up more and more. All right, Crypt Fiends going after our Archmage, getting pressured down, taking a lot of damage. Once again, now units are being pulled back. I still do not see any sort of siege or any way to really break this front or this back line here. All right, Crypt Fiend very, very low on hit points. It is going to go ahead and back off. It knows that it has plenty of room to maneuver once again. Meanwhile, teleporting back down to the south. Where is the Death Knight? Death Knight still wandering around here. Lich is sitting at level 2. Water Elemental going to go ahead, join in on the fight, only to be destroyed in a matter of seconds. Lich, Gloves of Haste, Mantle of Intelligence, looking very strong. Death Knight now wandering around the map with only a Destroyer in the air, and this might be enough to actually finish down some of these units. All right, Destroyer needs to catch up, not going to be able to do so. You can see that the Archmage now looking to back off again. Acolytes really repairing back all of these Obsidian Statues. Arya, is that it?
This one's the last one.
Okay. All right, Lich now looking to put pressure back at the north side here. A lot of repairs getting underway. Romantic is building up and already going up to castle. You can see him now going into double workshops, triple workshops with the Destroyer overhead as well. This is going to add in more and more damage. Again, trying to stop all of these units here. Lich is now joining in on the fight. As you can see, these workshops are completed, but they can still get easily pressured down in just a matter of seconds. What's going to be happening here? An army of siege engines will be rolling out in just a moment. And are we going to perhaps be looking at meat wagons? Yes, meat wagons, the proper counter right here, right now, as we're looking at, Frost Nova trying to finish off some more of these units. Crypt Fiends are getting into position. Lich in that front line, taking a lot of Arcane Tower damage. That is exactly where he doesn't want to be, not being microed away. Meat wagons are now starting to lob some attacks, but you need that disease cloud to actually start doing something. Back to the south here, Death Death Knight and Mountain King continuing to fight back here. Archmage sitting at level 3. Mountain King Stormbolt onto the Death Knight. Death Knight taking a little bit of damage. Now heading back off to the north. Crypt Fiends trying to put pressure as Blizzard now being added. All right, Blizzard being used to try and stop all of these units from getting into position. Meanwhile, the Meat Wagon is going to continue to join in on this fight here. Where is the Acolyte? What is going on? Trying to put pressure onto the Town Hall when it has level 2 Masonry upgrades. That is just not a good spot to be in. All right, meanwhile, Siege Engine is right nearby. Damage is coming across onto that Mountain King. Mountain King already down to 445 hit points. It is now trying to retreat. Paladin also being added in there, as well as the Meat Wagon starting to put pressure heavily on Romantic. Back in the center portion of the map, Death Knight, well, fighting up against the Paladin and the Mountain King. Things are not looking good for that fight. Meanwhile, the Archmage does get a lot of Blizzard in, and still looking to, well, use those clarity potions and top off continually. Lich, once again, low on mana, needs to just start Frost Novaing every chance it gets. Meanwhile, Archmage just runs on inside. Gonna take a lot of damage. Stormbolt, Crypt Fiend pretty much out of position, but you are going to see a Death Coil saving that Crypt Fiend right there. Death Knight now looking to back off. That Blizzard really opening up or closing off any sort of positioning, as there has been a lot of repairing by Romantic at this expansion here. More Siege Engines lying in wait, ready to put pressure at the opposite side. You can see 2 Meat Wagons in the backfield as you are looking at another Stormbolt onto the Death Knight. All right, more and more Crypt Fiends able to put pressure onto those peasants there, as we also have Disease Cloud being dropped in position. The Disease Cloud is going to make it difficult for those peasants to really do repair, meaning a single Frost Nova. And the AoE damage from the Frost Nova will, in fact, be enough to start taking out many of those units. All right, in comes the damage there, trying to go after these units. There's a Frost Nova, and you can see how much damage was dealt in just a second. Meanwhile, back down to the south, you can see Siege Engines trying to take down some of these main buildings, but you already have 2 Meat Wagons in the bottom position here. Meat Wagons are going to be putting in a lot of pressure. Archmage, Scroll of Town Portal, looks as though it will be able to be used in time. Siege Engine down to 200, 300 hit points, continually rising back up. Beautifully done right there. Multiple Acolytes attempting to repair, and we're able to keep it alive. Let's take a look at the population. 65 compared to 62. Siege Engines now making their way back off to the north, but new Siege Engines are lying in wait. No additional Siege Engines are being trained, and this Black Citadel could be in serious trouble. Once we, oh wow, Dreadlord now being added. Dreadlord, the counter to all of that, it is going to run into position. The Dreadlord, the counter to the Blizzard, and that is actually going to stop the Archmage in its tracks. Let's take a look. A lot of damage. Double Meat Wagon, or triple Meat Wagon tosses already landing and bombarding this Town Hall. Town Hall does have level 3 Masonry upgrades, but it may not matter. Lich, Frost Nova takes down a peasant or 2, going after some of those other units as well. Death Coil, another, finishing off units. That Lich is just a one-man wrecking crew with that range attack. Doesn't care that it's losing a lot of mana, as it is already low already. Death Knight lying in wait, ready for that Scroll of Town Portal back. Lich does get saved here. There's a Scroll of Town Portal coming back already, and are we going to see a sleep? All right, there you go. There is the attack. Where is the Archmage? That Siege Black Citadel down to 400, 312 hit points. There's the Blizzard. Is it going to be able to sleep the unit? No, it is not able to, as the Black Citadel gets taken down. All right, that Archmage was somehow able to, well, I guess, shake off the sleep, but the damage is starting to add back up very heavily. The Death Knight and the remaining Meat Wagons getting in a lot of damage right there. Holy Light saves the unit. Dreadlord now trying to pull back here. What's going on? Are we going to perhaps see the Paladin ending up getting slept as well? Siege Engine's now trying to pull back. Siege Engine down to 200 and some odd hit points, taking a lot of damage here. Dreadlords and Death Knight unable to really close in on that distance. Down to 146 hit points. Death Knight, Dreadlord, Lich back in play. Are we rebuilding up a Halls of the Dead or a Necropolis? No, we are not. Dreadlord, Death Knight, all these units are just making their way through, as it does look to try. No Scroll of Town Portal picked up. That does surprise me, as it is going to be a rinse and repeat again. Siege Engines now coming across once again. You can see the damage is starting to add back up. And where are all of those destroyers or other anti-air units to try and finish off all of this damage? The Siege Engine down to 59. That, well, what is that? How much does each attack do? Each attack only does 6 damage. That is the armor plus the damage type of bonus, making a tremendous difference. 5 more attacks will be needed to try and pressure this down, but it will get taken down as it does. Oh, no, get Staffless Sanctuaried back. All right, Crypt Fiend, Dreadlord up in that front line. You can see the Death Knight is trying to get more mana or more experience any way it can, and now going to be backing off again here. You can take a look. Siege engines ready to go. Do we have enough destroyers as we are rebuilding up a necropolis? New necropolis in order to train up more acolytes. That is absolutely necessary if this game does go long. Dreadlord now with vampiric aura will be able to regenerate hit points by attacking just a little bit. That might make a big enough impact or a big enough difference as we're looking to see where all of these units are going to next. Siege engines, spot all of these units down across here. Every time they roll out, it is just causing mental anguish and pressure on WFZ. WFZ knows that he cannot venture very, very far out. Staffless Sanctuary saves another unit there as the Death Knight now wanders on inside, picks up some items. Well, it looks as though the Paladin could get taken down. Oh, Death Coil does not finish it off as the Paladin is saved at the very last possible second. Back down to the south, are we seeing more and more meat wagons added? No, we are not. 64 over 60 supply. Let's take a look back over here. Meat wagons were trying to lob some attacks once again. As you see, a siege engine has been taken out, or, well, pretty much surrounded and will be taken out here in just a moment. Piercing damage and magic damage and heroic damage, not the true counter at all. All right, let's take a look. Paladin should be done resurrecting or done healing back up here in just a moment. We're going to see another lob or another volley of attacks in just a second here. There's that meat wagon. Needs to get repaired. There is triple meat wagons once again going after the town halls. The town hall is suffering a lot of damage, and I believe the Archmage with Blizzard should be coming in just a moment. Siege engine coming back across, down across over here. Going to try and take down this necropolis. Units are trying to back away. Is it going to teleport on top of all of those units? Yes, it is. But is it going to be able to take down any of these siege engines? That's the question. Yes, one siege engine will get taken down. As you see, the meat wagons are just lobbing, finishing off some more as well. Death Knight getting closer and closer to level 5. Lich is getting closer to 4. Dreadlord is getting closer to 3 as it looks to finish off the rogues once again. Apprentice Wizard will get taken down. Paladin, Archmage, Mountain King, all engaging. Back across over here. Archmage is pushing through. Once again, siege engines now making their way across. However, what is going on here? They actually let them go. There's actually enough siege engines or enough meat wagons down across here to really do a tremendous bit of damage and put pressure on them again. Paladin now finally, or will get to level 2. Mountain King finally at 2. Archmage just sitting at 4. So I believe it's a 4-3-2 compared to a 4-2-2 as the Death Knight is going to look to perhaps buy another Scroll of Town Portal and now head back off to the north here. All right, Dreadlord pretty much maxed out as well. You can see the Sentry Wards really giving sight, knowing what is going to exactly happen and when. Death Knight now running its way back down to the south, wants to put the pressure across over here. You can see the siege engines going to be getting into position. There is True Shot aura on the Archmage as they're now going to go ahead and engage. Turn it off. Okay, thank you. All right, coming back the other way. Death Knight now coming across here. You can see Sanctuary saving a single unit. Let's take a look. It looks as though, yes, one siege engine will get staffed to Sanctuary away again. Crypt Fiend's going to go ahead and try and protect, save another siege engine. Siege engine down to 230 hit points. Attack after attack, the units are just unable to catch up to it. Those siege engines moving a lot slower than I thought. Is Unholy Aura at level 2? Yes, but still, somehow, these siege engines are able to run around fairly fast. All right, let's take a look. Meat Wagon now heading back off to the north here. Mountain King, Death Knight. There is a Stormbolt here. Are we going to perhaps see a sleep onto the Mountain King? Yes. Sleep, surround onto the Mountain King. No surround for some reason. Frost Nova, Holy Light, Staffless Sanctuary should be inbound here as a Stormbolt does come across, but the Mountain King still gets taken down. All right, Meat Wagon's now in the backfield, able to do a lot of damage here. Once again, no attack onto the cloud across over here as the units are still chasing. All right, another sleep, and the Dreadlord may become the MVP of this match if things go their way as the Goblin Shredder now in position here. All right, Goblin Shredder going to take a whole bunch of damage trying to go after all these meat wagons. They get taken down. as we now see siege engines back down to the south here. One siege engine in the back attempting to fire back against all of these units. There is also one necropolis as well. More siege engines are coming across, but this is going to be turning into a base race. Base race coming across here as we are looking at a big frost nova taking down some peasants. Need to take down that arcane tower. Death coil trying to finish things off. Dreadlord in position again as we see a swirl town portal teleporting back to try and, well, take down some of these siege engines going back the other way. Two low hit point siege engines. Are they both going to get taken down? There goes one. There go. Well, nope, not yet. 27, 9 hit points. There goes another as the Death Knight gets to level 5. Death Knight at 5. Lich is just shy of 4. And the Dreadlord is just shy of level 3. That is going to be absolutely huge. This one extra necropolis down to the south, but we are sitting at 80 over 40 supply, unable to train up any additional units. What you see is what you get as we now see siege engines making their way. All right, that could actually be very bad right there. Siege engines all of a sudden spot the undead army all in position. Death Knight picks up another scroll of town portal. Is going to venture forth again. A new town hall being constructed, trying to mine out more as the main gold mines have been mined out already. All right, standing armies versus standing armies. No, romantic now once again with an expansion, but with a much smaller army. How is this all going to work out as the acolytes move across over here to try and set up their own, well, an expansion of their own? All right, do we have enough for a haunted gold mine? Yes, we do. Not quite sure why we aren't haunting it. There you go. Units are now going to be making their way off to the north as the Archmage Illusion looking like he wants to try and put on some pressure again. All right, there's some attack as well. The Lich should really be engaging against some of these units that you can take a look, taking a lot of damage because of that -5 armor. Meanwhile, back down across over here, well, that one illusion almost got taken out as the meat wagons are all in protection mode. All right, Death Knight once again moving forward. All right, Death Knight back across over here. Looks like it was trying to take down a unit, unable to do so. As we see the siege engines making their way back in from the north again. 80 supply versus a 48. The siege engines are relatively scary, though. One destroyer just overhead, constantly putting pressure onto these units. You can see destroyers only deal 19 to 21 damage. They're not that scary if you have, well, 8 armor and have fortified armor, thereby reducing it down to about a quarter of the potential damage there. Archmage shows up to Staff of Sanctuary the unit back once again. Are we going to see these rock golems and granite golems? What are they going to do? Are they trying to pull them back and engage against them? No, what's happening here? There is another illusion, as this one illusion will just try to get surrounded. It will get taken down, but that is the end of that. Back down across here, siege engines come in, do a little bit of damage. This 9 supply not going to be able to do very much of anything. Haunted gold mine nearly completed. And once this gold mine is done, we will be once again even footing, economically speaking, even though there are no ziggurats that can be trained. 3 meat wagons off over here, 4 meat wagons here. Both sides ready to go. Death Knight now doing some heavy duty creeping off on the other side here to try and take down a granite golem, trying to finish off the remainder of these units. Just get in damage wherever you can. If the granite golem decides to back away, let it back away, as it is not engaging and you're not really suffering any damage from that granite golem's chaos damage. There's a big slam right there. Death Coil saves it. It looks as though, yes, we are going to be going into Warsong battle drums, command aura, vampiric aura, a lot of aura all the way around, as we now see a transition into knights. Knights being transitioned back the other way, the perfect counter. Where are all of the destroyers when you need them? Holy Light coming back in as well. The knights should be able to destroy much of this Crypt Fiend army. And Romantic, with a brilliant tech swap, all of a sudden able to deal so much damage as the siege engines rush on in to finish off this gold mine. All right, the siege engines. One siege engine gone, another siege engine gone. The knights, however, are just rushing on in to destroy everything. And I believe that is the game. All right, yep, that's the game. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I gotta call it that without the economy here, so many knights in play to finish off the meat wagons. It doesn't matter that the siege engines are gone. There is no economic advantage or economic comeback for WFZ. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.